My name is Megha. I am here at the G7 Avion 2026 Summit. Joining me right now is a Member of Parliament from France, Anne Genetet. Thank you very much for taking out the time. And you've been, closely watching all these developments that are taking place where all the world leaders, G7 leaders have finally arrived. What has been the key takeaway for you from the conversations that have happened, the bilateral that has taken place, what the US President Donald Trump has said, and of course, Emmanuel Macron, the French president, also speaking to the media today?
Yes, thank you very much for your invitation tonight. What has surprised me today is that usually the G7 is the meeting of 7 countries discussing most of the time on macroeconomic issues and international issues, but that's it. And it's not the first time, but President Macron really wanted to have other countries joining this event. And I think that's very interesting to have other countries rather beyond the G7 members meeting together. And because we have to discuss a lot on lots of global issues, it's not only a matter of macroeconomic policies, it's also a matter of Macron also wanted that this G7 speaks to each of our citizens, either in France, in India, in Germany, in the USA. And so that makes, to me, a big difference compared to other previous G7, speaking to each of our citizens. That makes a big difference. And when I'm talking about India, we are here talking to 1.5 billion of citizens. So that's a huge amount of people that needs to understand also why these countries, these leaders meet at the G7 summit in Evian.
Talking about the West Asia crisis, or as you call it, the Middle East conflict that has been, causing a lot of trouble and engulfed the entire world in this energy crisis. Finally, there seems to be some sort of a breakthrough where the American side and the Iranian side have said that they have come to an agreement. An MOU is going to be signed in Geneva in Switzerland on Friday. There's also been a statement that has come from President Emmanuel Macron that there is going to be a multinational maritime mission that is going to be led by United Kingdom and France in a bid to secure the Strait of Hormuz and ensure that the commercial vessels are not targeted. A question that was raised by one of the reporters earlier today to US President Donald Trump that whether he would require help from Europe and the NATO nations and the G7 nations in ensuring that there is free transit of these vessels through the Strait of Hormuz, to which he said there is no help required. The deal has been signed, but it would be nice if a ship or two were to be sent by these countries into the Strait of Hormuz. How do you react to that statement?
First of all, I would say that before anything is signed, I'm still expecting a signature. So I'm waiting for that. Not so sure that it will be really signed. We know that how Donald Trump is quite difficult. He has hectic positions and statements, and he can change his mind very quickly. So let's maybe first wait for this MOU signature, and then we'll see. Now, about the help of other countries. I'm not talking about help. What I just observe now is that today, June 15th or mid-June, I can see that the status of this Detroit of Hormuz is the same as the status it was before the war and the attacks of the USA and Israel against Iran. So I'm not sure that to understand really clearly what Donald Trump has won in this situation. Now the question is how we, other countries, where we so much stand for multilateralism, for international order, for the rule of law, such as India also is advocating for. So all of us, we absolutely need this Detroit to be absolutely free of circulation for all boats, shipments, and so on. So today, I think that it also sends a clear message that, okay, Mr. Trump, you have decided of a war that nobody has asked you to go through. I know you mentioned say to us that maybe there will be a kind of free circulation in the days to come. Let's see. But clearly, this Detroit is not yours. It's not even Iran's Detroit. It's the Detroit to all of us. And with this rule-based order, with this international order, we all countries stand for having a free circulation, free transit through the Detroit of Hormuz. So that's what we're asking for. That's what I'm looking at. And again, let's wait also for this MOU to be signed first.
Absolutely. Talking about India and France relationship, which is historically very strong and diplomatically, bilaterally, and trade in trade terms also, it has been fostered by our current leaders. There was a bilateral that took place between both the leaders in Nice earlier. There was obviously 13 announcements that were made. And, the countries are moving forward when it comes to executing the year of innovation of India and France that was announced earlier in February when President Emmanuel Macron arrived in India for the AI summit, and of course that state visit that was conducted in Delhi. What are your key takeaways from this relationship when it comes to trade, when it comes to defense, artificial intelligence, and people-to-people collaboration, education also being, at the forefront of ties between both countries?
To me, what it says is that when you look at India diplomatic relations and the place that India wants to have on the international scene, clearly India is moving forward in the same direction as France is moving forward too, meaning that we have lots of allies, we have many allies. We don't want to have exclusive relations with some countries and not with others. I think there is a word that I've forgotten that Prime Minister Modi is using for that. And meaning that India tries to have the best relations with many different countries. Maybe the only country with which we don't have the same quality of relation is Russia. We don't have the same quality of relation that India has with the Federation of Russia. But beyond that, clearly, that's because that's the basis of stability, of political stability, of peace, that we need. India talks to everyone. France tries to talk to everyone too. That's a way of conducting our diplomatic relations that is very similar. And in that matter, we have close connections, and we have to move forward, whether it is on energy, whether, as you were mentioning, I was also part of the French delegation last February in Delhi about AI. AI is a major topic. We cannot, either India or France, rely only on solutions that come either from China or from the USA. That cannot be. We have to find a way to move forward with other solutions that have been part of the innovation built either in India or in France or in both countries together. That is a matter of, I would say, even survival in this global order. So regarding AI and other technologies issue, we need to work closely together to make sure that any of us cannot become rely only on either China on the one hand or the US on the other hand. That's very important. I hope that through the European partners, India can also have many other allies beyond France.
Thank you very much, MP Genetet, for talking to us on NewsX, and looking forward to meeting you very soon, and hoping to, once again, welcome you to India very soon.
I hope so. Thank you very much, Mega. Thank you.
Thank you.